Sony acquired my favorite movie theater chain, and while it's a fun headline, the implications of the deal are a bit scary. But to learn more about this deal, we have to go back. In the early days of Hollywood, major studios like Paramount, MGM, and Warner Brothers owned extensive theater chains. This vertical integration allowed them to control the production, distribution, and exhibition of their films, creating a powerful monopoly. In Hollywood's golden age, theaters had full control over what consumers saw, and remember, there was no aftermarket sales like DVD or VHS. Once a movie was out of theaters, it was gone. So effectively, these movie studios controlled everything consumers could watch. This all culminated into the 1948 Supreme Court case, United States versus Paramount Pictures Incorporated, which effectively banned movie studios from owning theaters. And this was the case for a very long time until 2019, the Department of Justice issued a sunset on this rule, and in 2020, they started allowing movie studios to purchase theaters once again. The first major group to take advantage of this sunsetting was streamers. Most notably, Netflix started acquiring theaters like the Paris in New York and the Egyptian in LA, so they have full control over the theatrical release of their movies that are primarily intended for streaming, and it allows them to hit eligibility windows for the prestigious award ceremonies like the Oscars and the Golden Globes. They can say, hey, we're going to show Marriage Story at this one theater for 6 weeks, and everyone else has to watch it on Netflix, and it gets to be nominated for an Oscar still. But perhaps the biggest bombshell of this whole development is Sony acquiring Alamo Drafthouse Cinemas, my personal favorite movie theater chain. Drafthouse filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy back in early 2021, still struggling with the COVID-19 pandemic, and despite being bailed out, was still struggling financially up until its acquisition. Now, there are obviously going to be tons of positives to this. I'm sure the Beyond the Spider-Verse menu is going to be insanely good, but there's a reason this was banned in the first place. Sony now has full control over Drafthouse's entire programming schedule, and Sony makes a lot of movies. You've obviously heard of Sony Pictures, and you've probably heard of Columbia Pictures, but did you know Sony also owns Screen Gems, Destination Films, TriStar, Sony Pictures Animation, Sony Pictures Classics? That's a lot of movies. There's only 5 major movie studios, and they're one of them. While there probably aren't enough movies to fill a multi-screen theater by themselves, they obviously have a strategic advantage by putting their movies on the better screens and by tapering the competition. Don't forget that Alamo Drafthouse Cinemas is the 7th largest theater chain in North America. This has huge implications. What do you think about this news? Do you think overturning US versus Paramount was the wrong move? While I am excited, I'm pretty anxious because